Okay, so in this video, I kind of want to talk about that pet store that I didn't purchase, um, and where I am at today. It's like 5 years later, because I kind of want to start working toward that dream again. Um, in order to go forward, we have to kind of talk about a little bit of what happened before. So first of all, I mean, like, one of the big things was obviously got divorced. So there was definitely some issues in the personal life that made it complicated to go forward with that. But with the store specifically, there was just a lot of things that I felt weren't quite in place for what I wanted. I'm not gonna get into, what they did wrong, whatever. There was just things about it that didn't work for me. Um, the amount of money that was being asked for the place, it was around 130,000, and I just felt like I could get more bang for my buck if I just started with a clean slate, because I wanted to change the name. I didn't want to keep their name. It is of my opinion that that name wasn't very there was some bad, let's just say there was just some, it's not a very a favorable business. A lot of people had their gripes. I'm not going to get into whether or not they were justified. I'm just saying. So that was one thing. I was going to change the name anyways. Some of the stuff that was for sale in the store, for instance, of course, they did a lot of dog sales, puppy sales, from what I could tell. So they had a lot of dog related stuff, which is fine. However, the amount of dog collars and that kind of stuff, insane. The inventory on that stuff was insane. And here's the bottom line. Walmart's just down the street. People may show up to your store and drop $500 to buy a puppy, but they're going to go to Walmart and buy that cheap ass collar. So there's no reason to compete with that. So there's a lot of that inventory. There's just a lot of inventory that I just don't want to, I didn't want to sell it. I didn't want to sell dog collars. I wanted to be a primarily fish and reptile store, was my goal. So I wanted that kind of stuff. The other thing was so one of the saltwater units, and I'm not saying that to buy that unit wasn't 12 grand. That was the price that was thrown out for that thing. However, I'm a DIY kind of guy. I know how to drill glass. I know how to do plumbing. I think I could have made that little standalone unit on my own easily for like $1,200, maybe $1,500. So there was a lot of purchasing of stuff that I didn't necessarily want to have. And then again, their store, do it how they want. But the envision I had for my fish section was completely different than what they had there. So I was already going to have to pretty much remove all of their stuff and rebuild it all. So what it came down to was what am I buying with $130,000? What is the purpose of paying that kind of money for a pet store, right? When I could just simply take that $130,000, start from scratch, and build it up from the ground up with my vision, my name, and my reputation. So, that's the biggest reason why I didn't go forward with that. And then there was just some little side things that just didn't quite feel right. I'm not saying that there was anything wrong or anything. I'm just saying for my personal dealings, there was things I didn't want to get into that came along with that business. So here we are. 5 years later. Single guy on my own, so I don't have to, let's see how I word this. My budgeting is different. Before I had to, and when I'd make decisions, wife and kids, the household, all that kind of stuff, you always have to factor that stuff in first, and then whatever's left over, that's what you get to play with. Now it's just me, single dude. My daughter is grown. She's off doing her own thing. So I have, look, if I want to spend every penny of my current paycheck and making this happen, I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to plead with anybody. If I have to eat ramen noodles so that way this can happen, I only have myself to blame. I don't have to convince anybody else, So I just feel like it's starting to become that time where it's a real possibility that I should be working on. Now, if you watch the shorts, because I've already been talking about some of this stuff, but you also seen that I'm selling the cork bark, which is something that I had purchased, as part of building up to owning a brick and mortar store, was to build my presence online, kind of get that ball rolling, because obviously, or maybe it's not obvious, but my pet store would not just serve those who could walk into it. You're watching this on YouTube, I like making videos, so I do have a far-reaching audience, and so I could ship dry goods and even animals. I've shipped animals online before. It's not nothing new to me. So, but the point is, I feel like I need to start working toward making that become a reality again, as I had done before. I was so close. But hey, that's life. Life throws you curveballs, knocks you down. You just get back up and ask for more. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to try to start being more on the socials with the Reptile Jones stuff. I'm going to start posting stuff like the cork bark and other things for sale, again, to try to create an online store first, get that rolling. I do have in mind, which will be a different video, but I'm not breeding any animals currently. So with that, that's also a clean slate. So I can be very picky and very select on the breeding stock that I am going to be picking up. Which, again, that'll be another video. This is going to be like just another video. Like, I gone back earlier today and watched that video that I did when I first announced I was going to try to buy a pet store. Now it's 5 years ago. So it's interesting to hear my thoughts back then. So it's just like an online journal. So that's what this is. This is just another entry into that for those who want to follow along. I do appreciate it. If you're new here and this stuff might be interesting to you, hit that subscribe button. So till next time, later.